Say it with bass. All of that. Let's warm in. I wanna be alone on my own island, no stony. Don't care for a bust down like Rolly. If you wanna join my space like Tom, them like Posty, it's an invite only. Right guys, Say It With Bass, episode 1. Welcome to the platform. Thank you for joining, thank you for listening. We're here and we are finally in progress. Right, on a serious note, let me start this off by just saying rest in peace, Agatha Stanley, aka my grandma. She passed away just as I was promoting my podcast page, so I'm just going to start off with a little moment of silence. All right, so in this episode, actually going to talk about mental health. I think it is extremely important to discuss that, especially being a black man and a man all together. I feel like we don't open up enough, of course. We don't express our feelings enough. We like to withhold this information and keep it to ourselves because we feel like, what is the point of disclosing this information? Because it makes us look weak. It makes us look, what's the word I'm looking for? It makes us look like we're less of a man. It makes us look vulnerable. It's just something that we don't like to feel, or we don't like to look like in front of others. And I feel like it's very important to express it because from personal experience, I've actually expressed myself to family, to friends. Weirdly enough, I feel like it's easier for me to express personal information with someone that I feel like I may be able to trust but doesn't know me quite as well, only because I feel like they are likely to give me an unbiased response. If it's with somebody that I know, they're more likely to say what I want to hear, and as much as I want to hear what I want to hear, and I want it to be something that I can say, yes, that's what I thought too, I feel like it's much better for me to be able to hear something I don't want to hear, because then the reality sinks in and it allows me to, well, firstly, I can appreciate a non-biased or unbiased response, because that's real and I prefer realness. Say it with bass, or get out my face. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of this. You say it with bass, say how you feel, talk up the things. If you don't say it with chest, step to the left, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I thought it was funny too. But yeah, so I'm not just going to sit here and say that it is only men or black men that have mental health issues. Obviously, there's loads of people that are going through it out there and loads of people in a similar situation. What I'm going to say to you is therapy is the way forward. I went to therapy before lockdown for about a month or two. It was really good for me actually, because it allowed me to be able to see things from a different perspective, which I didn't even realize. When you speak to somebody that's their profession, they kind of help you to understand, understand why you're feeling that way and trying to dig deeper into finding out what got you there, or like what the sort of pattern was, or the chain reaction, so to speak, that would have caused the feelings that you're having. So when lockdown happened, I didn't want to do it from home. I could have done it from home and spoke to somebody on Zoom. I thought it's not the same as sitting on a couch, having a free cup of water, nice and cold, and speaking with somebody face to face, so that you can actually express yourself and let them hear what you have to say. Now I say that and I'm going to contradict myself, because then last year, I ended up doing about 20 sessions of therapy, psychotherapy, and it was really helpful. It in a way, I did become slightly defensive at times when speaking with my therapist, which I noticed because he would ask me questions in a way that sounded like he was favouring towards the other things that are against what I would say. As the sessions kind of progressed, I kind of realised, you know what, I have to understand that. Again, he's non-biased. He is going to say what he needs to say. Based on what I'm saying, he's going to respond to me with an alternative. Like, why did you do that? What made you feel the need to do that? Did you think that was okay? Etc. etc. So if you ever do go to therapy, don't ever feel like it's a personal attack. It is just their job, and they're just trying to see if you can understand things from other angles instead of just your own. So that's what I've come to realize. But there's been loads of things. There's been so many things that have happened. From I was going to have twins that passed away. This is the first time I'm expressing this, but I'm not going to get into too much detail about that. But I was meant to have twins. They passed away. It was a emergency C-section. So they didn't survive, and my partner at the time was abroad, and I had to fly out there and try and be there for her. So that definitely was really difficult for me at the time, and it was important to be able to speak with somebody, because if I didn't, it's a weird situation. It's a very weird situation because on one hand, I wasn't ready for more children at the time. So I felt like them passing, it was never a blessing, but in the sense of the timing for me, it didn't make sense to have children, let alone two. But at the same time, I was extremely distraught by what happened with them passing away. I had mentally prepared myself to have more kids and to see what the future held. Also, my ex had her own children, so it was trying to see how we were going to build that foundation and structure our lives with, my kid. So yeah, that was tough. But things happen, and as people say, sometimes things are God's plan. Everything happens for a reason. But I say that to say this: don't ever feel like you saying something is gonna allow somebody to draw you out. That can happen. I definitely agree that can happen. But at the same time, the way I see it is that's my truth, and that's what made me me. So if I tell somebody something in confidence and they relay it to someone else and try and ridicule me, the way I see it is, well, all right, cool. I'll take the L for putting trust into you, for allowing myself to be vulnerable, to express my frustrations and things that have hurt me in the past. But at the end of the day, I own it. I own all of my faults. I own everything that happens. It is what it is at the end of the day. Now, that leads me on to another thing. I had a past where I felt like, I was told by friends of mine that I shouldn't disclose all my information, because by disclosing your information, there's evil eye. Now, I believe that. There's evil eye everywhere, people that want to see your downfall and hope that, you don't progress the way that you're hoping to. Now, for me, I had to learn to cut down things that I wanted to vent about, whether it be on socials, so Instagram story, Facebook, whatever, Twitter or X, whatever it's called. But at the same time, that was my way to sort of unleash my so-called demon, so to speak. And I feel like it should never be a thing where people can't express themselves and have to think about, what if this person says this? What if that person judges me? What if they say this? What if they say that? But then at the same time, one thing that I do really appreciate from my brethren is that you don't need to say everything. And if you do need to express something, then you can always speak to somebody that you that you believe you can speak to in confidence, especially if it's something that is very personal. So because of that, I've now kind of realized that over time that, okay, I'm still gonna say it with bass, I'm still gonna say it with chest. Um, I'm still gonna say it with chest, but at the end of the day, there's just maybe certain things don't need to be disclosed quite as much. Um, so yeah, just I'm not gonna worry about anybody else. I don't think anybody should worry about what anybody else thinks. You know, that even goes as far as to saying like the way you dress, or you know, the way you um I don't know, the way you cut your beard, the way um you know, you live your day-to-day life. It might not be the same as somebody else, but that's you. That's what makes you you. And that's one thing that I really respect about my parents, is that my dad, very unique in the way he dresses. He did not care about what anybody had to say about how he dressed back in the 60s, 70s, whatever it was that was different to other black people around this area, being brought up in South London. Or my mum, she, you know, dresses very, you know, loud colours, and has always been that way from when I was a kid, which when I was young, I always thought, oh, Mum, Dad, why are you not dressing like that? But when I got older, I learned to appreciate that the way they dress is very stylish and it's very unique, and it's like, I can't really compare them to anybody else. And that's how I've now become. But I still have my insecurities, like I think we all do. But, you know, I might put on a piece of clothing and be like, oh, if I rock that, is that going to be seen as, you know, like dead swag? Is it going to be seen as this? And then you start comparing yourself to the man them who all dress good as well. Never a competition thing, by the way. But it is just, it's very much that I want to just make sure that I look good, I feel good, and others look at me and think, oh, he looks nice. I like the way you put that together. There's nothing wrong with hearing a few compliments here and there. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to go out my way to say, hey, how come you didn't compliment me? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I feel like I really hope that everyone that's watching this feels like they can understand my side, but also, as well as understanding like things that I've gone through, can also relate as well. It's always good that every time I've ever disclosed anything, like on the few occasions that I still kind of vent on the Instagram stories, etc., and people respond to me and are like, oh, that's how I feel too. You know, if you feel that way, just come and reach out to me. Or they say, you know, this is what I do to help better me. Maybe it can help you. And that's part of the reason why I do it, to be honest with you. Because I feel like, you know, there's other people that are in the same boat that put up a facade that they're all okay and everything's positive in their life, you know, holidays and so on and so forth. But deep down, they are hurting. And let's all come together and speak to one another. And although I'm not somebody that likes to call and reach out to family and friends all the time, I always say to them, if you ever call me and I don't answer, I'll call you back straight away. If you ever call me and, you know, I do see it, I'm going to answer it right there and then. But then again, if it is in front of me and I don't answer it, I'll text you and say, I'll shout you later because I'm doing something. But I'm always here. Always here. So that goes out to all of my peoples. Whether I know you, whether I don't know you, it doesn't really matter. This is the new podcast, Say It With Bass. If at any point you have any topics that you need to discuss, or you want me to discuss from my perspective, or in fact, if there's anything that any of you want to just reach out to me and just speak to me about and say, this is what you're going through, what do I think, what should you do? I'm not a professional in you know, therapy or anything like that, but what I am good at is being able to just give alternatives of what can be done to better oneself, whether that be for me or for anybody. I feel like I'm pretty good at that. I'm good at talking. I've heard that. You know, I like a good old chat. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. To end this podcast, to end this episode, should I say? I'm just going to say one thing. Don't ever let anybody make you feel like you can't vent to them, or don't ever just make a decision to yourself and say, oh, I'm not going to speak to such and such because I don't want to bore them with my problems. I don't want to what's the point? They're not going to care. Because to be honest with you, a lot of people will care. If they're your friend or they're your family and they love you or care for you a lot, they will hear what you have to say. And I think that's the main thing that I want to just kind of put through in this message that I'm disclosing on this episode today is speak out. Talk to someone that you're confident in speaking to. Speak to anybody that you want to speak to, and get it up off your chest, because there's nothing worse than letting it build up and build up and build up and having that pressure in your head of things that are bothering you that you're keeping in, to the point where you just unleash all matters of anger and frustrations. And that shouldn't be something that you should do. It's not healthy. I feel like a lot of people that may pass away for whatever reasons, I feel like that can be part of it as well. Forget about just diet. You need to make sure you eat your vegetables, you drink your water, and make sure you have a balanced diet. But at the same time, you need to make sure that your brain is in the right place, because there's nothing worse than having toxic thoughts and keeping it to yourself. I can say that. I can vouch for that. And although I'm not perfect, I can definitely say that since being able to speak to people, mainly like I said, within the sort of therapy world, it definitely allowed me to see things from a different perspective and to understand that if I've done something wrong to somebody else and they've told me, I try and think of the bigger picture. I try and see their side as well as my side. It's not just always just a one-sided thing, So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being a part of my journey. Thank you for allowing me to say it with bass and speak up and just say it as it is. Moving forward, there's going to be a lot more. There's going to be other topics that I'm going to discuss. There's going to be interviews with other people to find out how their journey's been, what they're going through, anything that they want to promote. There's going to be freestyle sessions. So we're going to leave it there because it cut me out. So say it with bass, subscribe, like, share, follow. Say it with bass or get out of my face. Love, all of that.